What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Lineman Football, and today's video is another edition of the mistakes players make. Now, some of these are from my perspective as a player, some of them are now my perspective as a coach. You might not agree with all of them, and I don't expect everyone to, so if you do not agree, whatever you don't agree with, leave them in the comments down below. If I don't say any that you think should be on there, leave them down below, and maybe I'll make another one. Now, I can only do one of these videos every so often, just because they really get me going, and these are my pet peeves that I've always hated, and I do not like seeing some of this stuff. So without further ado, let's jump into this. Okay, the first one I actually just wrote down, and that's because we had a new kid come out to join our team today, and our equipment manager fitted him with the absolute wrong face mask. And that is one of the things that players... Now, I'm okay with some middle ground, because I know sometimes linemen want to wear a receiver mask because they like the open. Cornerbacks want something a little more closed, because they want a little more protection. I get that. But when we have a DB that comes out today, a DB wearing this face mask, we have a problem. Now, my goal by next practice will be to get this kid a different face mask, because it is absolutely wrong for him. There are so many options for face masks nowadays that you don't need to settle. Your team should have at least some different variations that you can get one for your position. All right, the next one's pretty simple. It's wasting time in the offseason, and I don't personally believe in becoming where your only focus is football. I don't think that it should be at a young age where you do 2 different football seasons a year, football specific training in the off season, and you've at 9 years old, 14 years old, you've dedicated that you will become a football player, and that is your dream. I think it is important to be a multi-sport athlete. So I'm not saying waste the off season as in you're not playing football and for multiple seasons a year. I'm saying just not doing anything active. Do something active. The next one is going to be when I see a kid wearing mid-calf, usually Nike socks, but their legs are so small, or they got the wrong size, and the mid-calf sock goes all the way up to the top of their knee pad. There's something about it, and maybe it's because like the Nike Elites have the stripe on the back that signify their mid-calf sock, and when you see that stripe going all the way up to their knee pad, it is just a bad look. Get the right size for the style of sock you're using. Speaking about knee pads, the next one is going to be not wearing knee pads to practice. And it's a safety thing, but the other thing is it just looks weird, right? Especially when you have thigh pads in, and football pants are made to have these pads built into them. When you see someone with thigh pads or no thigh pads and no knee pads, and there's that like saggy bit of fabric where you can clearly tell a knee pad is supposed to go and there isn't, it just looks weird. So do it for the aesthetic, do it for the safety as well. All right, this one is from a coach's perspective. The worst is when kids don't show up to practice or are hurt every practice, but then show up to every single game ready to go. It is very easy to just ignore those kids on game days and say, I got to move forward, deal with whatever we got to do for game day. But you take it to a whole nother level when we hear from the team manager that there was a complaint from a parent that their kid didn't get in, and you can always guess ahead of time who it's going to be. The parent of the kid that's a backup that's every practice doesn't usually complain, but it's the parent of the kid that enables them to miss practice is also the one that'll be on the coaches for not putting their kid in. It is the classic parent that you just do not want to deal with, and you really try and avoid. Okay, the next one, we're going back to the same thing as the face mask. It's wearing the wrong gloves. Now, I know there's somewhere, again, I was a center, I like to wear a receiver glove on my snapping hand. I get that. But there's some nowadays that you just don't understand why a guard or a tackle is wearing a receiver glove, because at every position now, there is a glove for your position. At every position, there will be at least 3 brands with a glove for your position. You have Nike, Under Armour, Adidas, Cutters, and they all make a lineman glove, they all make a receiver glove, they all make an all-purpose glove. You have so many options and colors and styles now that you can pick from. There's no reason to be wearing the wrong glove at your position. All right, now this one is going to be highly debated. I don't like when kids wear hoodies underneath their shoulder pads. Now, I understand it from the perspective of you want to wear a crappy hoodie during practice under your pads. The part that I do not like about it is I am of the mindset of practice like I play, And because I know I would never wear a hoodie underneath my pads in a game, I will never do it in practice. I'm going to wear the same style of clothing in a practice that I will wear in a game, so I'm comfortable with it. All right, the next one is going to be about visors. So I have a problem with the kids now from where I am that wear visors when it is either raining or it is snowing or something like that outside. Something with really bad weather. And there are many purposes of a visor, but I think when you're dealing with really bad weather situations, the pros of that visor for not getting poked in the eye or whatever it is are now outweighed by the cons of dealing with the conditions being on that, right? It's like a windshield on a car. You can have really good wipers on a visor, a Shock 2.0 or whatever. You can have good coatings that make the water bead off, but you're still going to have those lines of water beating off as it happens. It doesn't mean it's staying on there, but you see the water beating off in front of you. So I just say cons outweigh the pros on that. Take the visor off. The last one is going to be, again, one that tons of kids do, and that is I don't like when kids roll their sleeves over top of their shoulder pads. I think it is kids trying to be tough. I get it. I did it at one point. But again, it's something that it's like the clickety-clack that you just don't get used to. It's a safety thing of when, especially you're trying to get used to blocking someone and you're dealing with slippery plastic shoulder pads and stuff. It doesn't help your teammates. It doesn't help you. I just find it annoying. I understand it. I did it as a player because I thought it looked cool. But now that I'm outside of the game and I'm from a different perspective, I can see why coaches hate it. So there you guys go. There's another edition of mistakes I think players make every single day. Now, again, if you don't agree with these, leave them comments down below. We can go back and forth a little bit, and I'll probably make another one of these, when I think of some more. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. And again, as always, thanks.